In this lesson, we will demonstrate how to write percents as fractions. For example, suppose we have 30% and we want to write that as a fraction. Well, as we learned earlier, 30% may be thought of as 30 parts of 100. Okay. If we write that in the form of a fraction, we would have 30 over 100. But of course, with fractions, we always want to make sure that we leave the fraction, or write the fraction, in lowest terms. And as we can see, both 30 and 100 have a common factor of 10. So 30 may be thought of as 3 times 10, and 100 may be thought of as 10 times 10. And now, since they have this common factor of 10, I can cancel out the common factor. And when I do so, I'm left with just 3 over 10. So 30%, when written as a fraction, is 3/10. Now let's emphasize that this intermediate step here, I really didn't need to show. I could have merely reduced the fractions using mental arithmetic. Now let's take a look at one other example. Suppose I have 48.4%, and I wish to write that as a fraction. Well, just as we did with the previous example, I would drop the percent sign and write the number over 100. So 48.4%, if I drop the percent sign, would become 48.4, and I would write that number over 100. Now in this case, I have a fraction, but notice my numerator contains a decimal, and we typically do not write fractions in that manner. So we have to use some basic arithmetic in order to express this number in such a way that the numerator does not contain a decimal. And the way we're going to go about doing that is multiply both numerator and denominator by 10 over 10. Now I'm permitted to do that because 10 over 10 is equivalent to 1. So really, by multiplying 48.4 over 100 by the fraction 10 over 10, I'm not changing the meaning or the value of this fraction. As a result, 48.4 times 10 becomes 484, and 100 over 10 becomes 1,000. I now have 484 1,000ths. Again, since this is a fraction, I need to write this fraction in lowest terms. In this case, both 484 and 1,000 contain a common factor of 10. So when I divide the not a common factor of 10, I apologize, a common factor of 4. So when I divide the numerator, 484, by 4, I get 121. And when I divide the denominator, 1,000, by 4, I get 250. So 48.4%, when written as a fraction, is 121 over 250.